Dwellers. In goal we have Matheson Nassa, number 2 Kenneth Pilau, number 3 Valentine Nelson, 5 Mozi Malugwa, number 7 the captain Raymond Gonemba, number 10 Albert Bika, 12 Matthew David, 14 Emmanuel Simon, 15 Ken Kepe, 16 Japet Yampo, and number 17 Wilson Buller. Your substitutions for LAE City Dwellers, reserve goalkeeper Ronald Warrison, number 4 Goropole Albert, 8 Alex Cummin, 9 George Korai, number 11 Adolf Komisi, 13 John Kichani, number 18 Peter Yapa Jr., 19 Moses Kamakang, 21 Kiwa Tepo, and number 22 George Debenham. And the coach of the side is Peter Gundemba. Your Western United lineup: in goal is Anthony Tarlow, number 5 Freddie Keeney, 6 Madsen Feeney, 7 Paul Wale, number 8 the captain Henny Farrodo, number 9 Benjamin Totori, 11 Joachim Warai, number 13 James Naka, 17 Nelson Saleh, 22 Jose Nawo, and number 23 Moles Gagame. Your substitutions for Western United: the reserve goalkeepers are Fabrizio and Nicholas Tariato, number 2 Alec Wickham, 3 George Kakai, number 4 Cecil Guru, number 10 Atana Farrodo, 14 Oscar Khalifa, 15 Brian Peter, 16 Kagame Penny, number 19 Benson Vasili, and number 21 Abraham Baizama. And the coach of Western United is Commons Bernabe. Your referee for today's game is Norbert Hawata from Tahiti. His first assistant is Bertrand Browell from New Caledonia, and his second assistant is Sione Teo from Tonga, and the fourth official is Corey Mills from New Zealand.
Wondering how much the organisers of the under-17 tournament are paid to get live coverage on Sky of the finals tomorrow.
Hey?
Yeah, well, they must have had a few bob, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Who cares?
Yeah.
You've done it. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Somebody's pulled some strings.
I'm a bit sus about it though, because they used Auckland City in the first. social media.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Centre Park in Mangere. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Centre Park in Mangere in the south of Auckland. It's match day 3 of the OFC Champions League Group C, and it's LAE City Dwellers against Western United in our opening match of what promises to be a fascinating afternoon of football. It's a real pleasure to have you with us from wherever you are in the Pacific and around the world, taking in Oceania's premier club football competition. To paint the picture for you, there are no tomorrows for these two teams. They have to get maximum points and score at least 3 goals to have any sort of hope of pipping Auckland City to top spot and a semi-final place. That will require Malumpa Revivers to beat Auckland City later on today in the match that kicks off at 4 p.m. And that could be a difficult challenge for the team from Vanuatu, given that they've lost their opening 2 games. LAE City in their second season in this competition. We'll be hoping that they can emulate Te Kara United and qualify for the semi-finals. I spoke with Maori Wazzy, the technical consultant for the team, and he said that there were one or two regrets about the way that his team had gone about their task in the opening games, and that they hope to finish on a high. And your commentator today is not Gordon John Watson, it's Gordon Watson, by the way. For Western United, it's a similar picture. They have got a big task in front of them this afternoon against a team that they'll know pretty well. A number of the Solomon Island players have appeared in the PNG National Soccer League previously. Henry Ferrodo and Jochen Warroy, of course, very familiar figures to people in PNG. There are 5 changes for LAE City Dwellers, though. Most notable, it's in goal. Matheson Nasa has come in for Ronald Warasan, while Kenneth Pilelau and Matthew David, Ken Kepe and Bilson Bullo have all come in for Albert, Alex Kamen, Peter Dabinyaba Jr. and George Debenham. Well, that may be the situation for Peter Ganemba's team. Certainly the shape doesn't change in any way whatsoever. It's the 4-2-3-1 formation that they favoured all the way, and that's what they'll go with in this match. For Western United, there's been some minor modifications made by Commons Manapi. Paul Wale, who came on as a substitute and had his penalty saved against Malumpa Revivers, gets a start ahead of Cecil Buru, and Benjamin Tatori, who began the game on the bench in the last outing, has come in to replace Atana Ferrodo. The formation for Western United reflects that of LAE City Dwellers, 4-2-3-1, which means that both teams are going to concentrate heavily on attack, and the 4 players in your picture there, Wale, Naka, Nawo and Tatori, are going to be key figures. I dare say that James Naka will be determined to once again prove just how good a player he can be after being substituted in the second match against Auckland City on Wednesday. So a small but committed crowd in attendance here. You can see former New Zealand international Nigel Debenham at the centre of your picture there with the sunglasses on his baseball cap, talking to a LAE City Dwellers official. Debenham's son George, of course, started the first 2 matches for LAE City, but finds himself on the bench for this one. And of course the Solomon Islands, always out in force wherever their teams play. You can see the very familiar green, yellow, white and blue flag being sported there by a very young supporter. The FIFA anthem heralds the entry of the 2 teams, led by Henry Ferrodo in all white and Raymond Ganemba in the blue and yellow of LAE City Dwellers. These 2 have come face to face on international duty many times in the past, and in friendly internationals, age group for their clubs. There's a lot to play for. They can ill afford to think about what Malumpa Revivers may or may not be able to do in the match later on against Auckland City. They have to get about each other. They have to score a lot of goals. They have to make sure they get their 3 points so that they at least go into the 6th match, of which they have no control over, but with a chance of advancing to the semi-finals. It's an achievement that Kolowale and Kosa have managed to put into their history, and Western United will be hoping for a miracle of sorts to match that milestone set by their predecessors. The referee for this one is a very reliable figure and a well-known figure. It's Norbert Hoata of Tahiti. His assistant referees Bertrand Brial of New Caledonia and Sione Chiu of Tonga. And the 4th official is Corey Mills of New Zealand. Norbert Hoata has been a match official at the last World Cup in Brazil. And it's always an interesting point of a 4-year cycle when you get to within touching distance of the FIFA Confederations Cup, which is coming up in Russia this June. It heralds the 1-year countdown to the FIFA World Cup, which will be staged in that country next year. And it's not only players that have an eye on FIFA World Cups, match officials also work in a very dedicated way towards reaching the highest level possible within the game. And I've no doubt that Norbert Hoata has that as an objective in the back of his mind. But today, it's all about the OFC Champions League. And it's all about scoring goals and getting 3 points and then hoping for the best. Nelson Saleh is also back in the team. He was suspended after getting 2 yellow cards against Auckland City. His head-to-head duel with Raymond Ganemba is going to be a real talking point about this game. I can't wait to describe it for you as it unfolds. And there are many others too, of course. LAE City dwellers, Valentine Nelson, probably the most recognisable figure in the LAE City back line, is going to have a very tough time trying to get to grips with James Nucker and Benjamin Tatori. This one's got all the hallmarks of being a classic. Let's hope that for both these teams that something tangible, a tangible reward is theirs to savour at approximately 7 p.m. later today, New Zealand time. There are other matches played in the OFC Champions League in Group D. Rewa against Heracles Golden Star and AS Stefano against Maris Fire. That's bound to be a big one as we get underway in Mangere. LAE City and Western United both looking for 3 points. There can be no settling for a draw here, and that should plug into a propensity of both teams to favour attacking football. Manuel Simon loses out to Henry Ferroto. Well, you can see the challenges are already ferocious. Jaffet Tiampo. I think today's game gives Western United an opportunity to throw some of the shackles off. They took a very rigid approach to both of their games. Against Auckland City, you can perhaps understand why they wanted to temper some of their more natural attacking instincts, but against Malumpa Revivers, they struggled to really impose their attacking prowess on their opponents. And speaking to Jacob Molly prior to the game, he said that was really the trick of it, is to strike that fine balance between that of the swashbuckling attacking team that everybody in the Solomon Islands wants to see against more pragmatic considerations. And that is the accumulation of points and goals. And he said that trying to curb that natural attacking instinct among the players was not always the easiest of tasks. And when you have the likes of Benjamin Tatori and James Nucker and Paul Wale in your team, you can understand why it would be so tough to just ask them to measure their desire to get forward and impose themselves on their opponents. Kepe. That's a good run by Manuel Simon. Ferrodo tidying up for Western. Now Wale. Well, both teams just showing a few nerves in the opening minutes. Saleh. Loses out to Tiampo, and now LAE City giving the ball away. Bullock. Nelson. Simon. Manages to evade Henry Ferrodo. Now Obert Beek, who's been very impressive during this stage of the competition. Nice turn by Saleh. It's all getting rather tight and frenetic, just on the edge of Western's penalty area. Now Manuel Simon. Oh, and there were two at the back post that were unmarked. One was Obert Beaker. And Western United have conceded a corner. Just 4 minutes into the start of the match. Ganemba to take. It's taken a deflection. Talo's come for it, drops it, and grabs it at the second time of asking. There was some concern for Western United there, but Talo's recovered beautifully. Tatori. Oh, Naka trying to get away through. There's no free kick given. Now LAE City can counter-attack. I think the game is going to be played very much in transition this afternoon. Beaker. Oh, decent cross, and it had to be headed away by Matson Fenny. Wale spare here on the left. Ball drops in behind Kenneth Pilailo. Still going Wale. Now the run from Naka. Oh, and he's just pulled up. Pilailo for Nelson. Now Matheson Nasa. Not the tallest of goalkeepers, Matheson Nasa, but an interesting decision by Peter Ganemba Sr. to give his second choice goalkeeper a run. Ferrodo making space down the right. He's met by Mosi Malibwa. What can Western United craft from this position? Naka. Nawo for Naka. Fenny for Saleh. Tries to work it back into the left back channel, patrolled by Jaffet Tiampo. Wararoy's header. Wararoy again. Tatori. This is where he likes to operate. Wale on the overlap. He's picked him out. There's a player unmarked at the far post. I think it's Joseph Nawo, but Wale's run out of football pitch to operate in. Remember, a draw here would sink both teams. They would disappear without trace from this edition, given that Auckland City FC are already on 6 points from 2 games. Now some pace being shown here down the left-hand side. The cross intended for Beaker is hacked away by Waroi. Tiampo keeping the pressure on Western. Oh, looked a good shout for a free kick there, but Nobe Hawata sees that otherwise. Wale. Well, he's given that away cheaply. Paul Wale. Bullor. Nice turn by Emmanuel Simon. There are 3 options to his left if he can just pick one of them out. And he's got a free kick for his troubles. We can see the options opening up for Emmanuel Simon there. He found the space to just work the ball through to Beaker, but Joachim Waroi decided to intervene, and you saw the result. Now, Kanemba does like to strike a ball directly from free kicks, but surely this is out of his range. May well be out of his range by around about 5 meters. Not too sure that will perturb him from having a go here. Anthony Talo is elected to have 3 in the wall. There is a LAE City Dwellers player who's also taken up a position just on the end of that wall. Now, Kanemba's capable of going top left or top right. I've seen it before. And he's bent it in, just lacking power and probably testimony to the distance that he had to try and compensate for. Matson Fenny, Ferrodo. Western just content to strike the ball around at the back here, and they're getting pressed. And now Western trouble. Oh, and there's a gap, and it's opened up, and a shot straight into the arms of Anthony Talo. Joachim Waroi is warring with his back four about how cheaply they gave the ball away, and that's something that Western will have to be very, very careful about, because the LAE City Dwellers have, in their matches to date, tended to play in waves, and by that I mean that they've chosen to press their opponent, usually in spells of 10 minutes or so, trying to force an error, but it's a wise way of playing that pressing game, particularly if you feel that your opponent is going to have a higher percentage of possession than you're likely to get over the course of 90 minutes. You, of course, can't spend 90 minutes pressing the ball, and that's why LAE City Dwellers have, in this tournament, tried to pick and choose their moments, and that was one of those moments. And there's a moment from Kanemba, and a good save by Anthony Talo. It's the post that goalkeepers don't like being beaten at, but Anthony Talo had his work cut out there, even though the ball was at a good height. The strength of the shot, as you will see from Kanemba, forced the goalkeeper into action. It's a corner. LAE City with all the early running here inside the first 11 minutes. Corner wound into the near post. It's headed away by Matson Fenny. Hoisted back in. Free header by Kanemba. Well, the marking was atrocious, and Raymond Kanemba with a great opportunity to open the scoring. He deserves a pat on the back, because he was very, very aware that he was unmarked, and he didn't want to give too much power to the header. He just wanted the goalkeeper to come off his line and let the deviation and the flight of the ball do the rest. This is James Naka with a bit of trickery on the right. Now Fenny joins in. He hoists across high to Paul Wale. It's won by Kenneth Pilalo. Now Freddie Kinney's ball into the far post. Well, that's a poor pass by Matheson Nusser. Puts his team under pressure again. It's a decent ball into the penalty area. Well read by Pilailo. Bilson Bolo trying to pick out Ganemba, and he's done so with a very good ball. Ganemba, when he was just caught in two minds. You could see that he was shaping to take the shot, and then Albert Beaker appeared through the centre circle, sorry, the D on the edge of the box. Meanwhile, at the other end, Matheson Nusser with a save. Goodness me, Western United spurning a chance to go 1-0 up. Farodo. Nawo, and that's a straightforward call for Norbert Hoata. Handball, free kick for Western on the right-hand side, just a couple of metres inside LAE City Dwellers territory. Fenny, Saleh, Waroi. Talo. Now LAE City Dwellers are looking to press, and it's opened themselves up at the back. It's Tatori against Valentine Nelson. Nucker's free, Nucker's through. Still going, James Nucker. And Valentine Nelson had to be careful as he unpicked that attack, and it's a penalty. I think Norbert Hoata's pointed to the spot, and Valentine Nelson is complaining to the match official. Here's Tatori taking on Nelson here. You can see he's picked out James Nucker, whose first touch wasn't great. Matheson Nusser got in there. Then this challenge, well, I'm not so sure. Oh, it's that challenge there. It was the second one. It was Kenneth Pilailo who took out Benjamin Tatori. And that is the correct decision. And Western United, who were on the ropes, really, it must be said, inside the first 15 minutes. They've survived a number of LAE City Dwellers attacks, and they concede a penalty, and the guilty party is Kenneth Pilailo. Now, Matheson Nusser can become a hero for LAE City Dwellers if he can stop this Henry Farodo penalty kick. Farodo scored against Malumpa Revivers. He went left. At around about waist height, he went left, so I wonder if he'll choose the same part of the goal this time. He addresses the ball, and he goes top left and scores. Western United take the lead. The skipper leading the way.
Number 8, Henry Farodo.
Fine penalty. Matheson Nusser went the right way, but really the power was such that he had no chance of getting near it. Well, now LAE City Dwellers being asked a massive question. Can they respond and grab themselves an equaliser? Remember, a draw's no good to either team. They both have to get maximum points and score a few goals in doing so. Here's Western down the right-hand side. That's a free kick. Nucker taken out. Nucker just too much pace in tight areas at times. I don't think he's got tremendous pace over a long distance, but when he decides to go in a short burst, defenders find that difficult to deal with, and they tend to get their body position wrong, and that's when arms and legs start flailing. Four in the penalty area. Joachim Warroy is sitting on the edge of the box. Saleh forward, Ferodo forward. Naka's in there, Paul Wale sitting on the edge. It's taken Matheson Nussa, does well to push that clear. As you can see, he's not the tallest of goalkeepers, so he has to make sure, like Anthony Talo, that when those aerial balls come into his penalty area, that he times it just right. Saleh against Kanimba. Fakes to shoot, then the attempted cross. It's a corner ball. This game turning into a very open affair as we predicted. Two at the near post for LAE City Dwellers. Tarlaw comes, it's headed away by Mats and Fenny. Now Ferodo with some work to do here. Tatori picks up the ball, the second ball, and he's released. Joseph Nawo, and a gentle ball to the back post, and Paul Wale doubles the lead. Fine cross by Joseph Nawo. You'll see here, it all came from a long ball that was cushioned by Naka for Tatori. He released Nawo down the right, and Wale, unmarked at the far post, sweeps the ball home. And Western United in cruise control. They're 2-0 up. So what this does to the complexion of the section is that Auckland City and Western United, if this result were to stay the same, would be tied on 6 points each. And Western United have 5 goals for and 3 against, so they have a +2 goal difference. And Auckland City have a +3 goal difference with a game to play against the bottom team in the group. So Western United keeping up their end of what they need to do to put some pressure on Auckland this afternoon. But they need at least one more goal to really force the issue. That would put Western United on top of the group leading into the final game. Here's Robert Beaker. Well, he did well to get the space to affect any sort of shot on Anthony Tarlaw. You can see here when LAE City start to press that it can cause problems. Joachim Warroy didn't want to get too close to Albert Beaker. He's a very wiry and leaf character who's got a tremendous technique on the ball. So if you get too close to him in the penalty area, you run the risk of giving away a penalty. And Albert Beaker was very aware of that. Oh, and here's a chance to maybe get the third. Oh, and they've missed the target. Nawo. Well, chances are coming thick and fast for Western United. Nawo scored against Malumpa Revivers, and it was from a very similar position. How he failed to hit the target there, I don't quite know. Peter Ganemba Senior, the coach of LAE City Dwellers, will be ruining those missed chances, but he's also got to make sure that his team don't lose their concentration and start to fall further behind. Here's Nawo putting pressure on Malibwa. Oh, and can't quite get through, or can he? Warroy. Talo. Manuel Simon strikes the referee. Mollis Gagami. That's a valuable win. Good ball by Naka, releasing Nawa down the right. Well, they're all queuing up. Oh, no free kick given. It's all getting rather scrappy, almost like a juniors game. It breaks free for Naka. Valentine Nelson was just hanging off his left shoulder, and in the nick of time, pickpockets possession of the ball and releases his counter-attack. Well, it's all just falling apart for LAE City Dwellers. They've become quite fragmented between their lines too. They've taken a real hammer blow, conceding 2 goals in short shrift. Now Wale. Given away cheaply, but Mollis Gagami can tidy up for Western. Saleh. Fenny. Ganemba. Saleh's trailing leg did just enough, and Tatori picks it up. That was a tight ball to give Naka. Malibwa came away with the ball, says referee Hoata. Kepe, flag up straight away. Ganemba with the shots, and Talo saw the flag go up, and that's why he just put a pair of soft gloves up to that. I had a chat with Mary Wazzy from the LAE City Dwellers technical team, and he described LAE City Dwellers as a team that wasn't quite ready for this tournament. He said that they found that the match with Auckland City illustrated just how big a gap there is between themselves and where the benchmark is set. But, you know, he was also realistic in trying to appraise his team's performance within the context of what's happening in Papua New Guinea club football at large. He said there has been a lot of disruption, and that the preparation has reflected that. And there's a substitution being made. It's Kenneth Pilalo, who's coming off after just 27 minutes, and Gorapol Albert is coming in at right back. Fenny for Saleh. Room to move for Saleh. Mollis Gagami. Oh, right idea. It was picked off by Jaffet Tiampo just in time. Beaker, and that's a pretty straightforward call. Beaker's getting an earful on the right-hand side from Bilson Buller, who had actually timed his run quite well. You know, sometimes there's a tendency for players to look towards their captain rather than a better placed teammate. Here is Ganemba. Beaker. Well, they really have lost their way, haven't they? Inside the first 29 minutes, they dominated the first quarter of an hour and created a lot of chances, but failure to take one of those chances has meant that a little bit of self-belief has been sucked out of their performance, along with the Henry Ferroto goal and the Paul Wale goal. Trailing 2-0 LAE City Dwellers. James Naka picking it up on the edge of the penalty area. Now working it back to Matson Fenny. Ferroto for Molos Gagami. Tatori. Still going Tatori. Tried to pick out Wale on the left. He might as well have had a shot from that distance, as we see the ball rifle off the back of King Kepi's head. Kinney. Saleh. Gagami for Saleh again, Ferroto. Well, LAE City are trying to press as best they can, but to no great effect. You can see how deep the midfield has dropped off. King Kepe picks the ball up. Hoisted forward for Ganemba, away by Waroi. Well picked up by Gagami's. Very good at that, reading play and picking up any loose balls in the midfield area. Hoisted forward by Albert. Oh, lovely touch by Ferroto, but he was met face first by Bilson Buller. Now Beaker. Ganemba's unmarked. Chance perhaps for Ganemba on the left foot, and he just couldn't work onto it. Now King Kepe over the bar. And it was a good position to take a long-range strike, but he didn't get his head over the ball and strike through it. You'll see from here that Beaker had no other option but to pick out Ganemba. Ganemba maybe took one touch too many. Saleh defended very well, and then Kepe shot over the crossbar. Taupo's playing a risky game here, trying to just shepherd the ball out. That can go for you most of the time, but if the ball's slowing up like that, it can become quite a fraught decision. Thankfully for Jaffet Tiampo, that's come off perfectly. Ganemba can show his pace against Waroi. Ganemba's through. Oh, and he's missed the target altogether. Well, it was a great chance and he knows it. Look at that. Technique is a strong point for Raymond Ganemba, and he's applied it more often than not, but he went for power there. And he's come up empty-handed. He'll be taking some encouragement from the fact that whenever he does get into a foot race with Joachim Waroi, that he's got the better of him. Lovely touch by Nawa. That's a great ball. Lovely 1-2 with Tatori. Nā could run into an offside position. That's why Nawa checked before he played the ball. Now Wale pulls up to allow Kinney an opportunity to get forward. Kinney's got the better of Albert, cuts it back. Tatori. And Matheson Nasa takes a sting off it. Tiampo. Simon. Beaker. Here's Nelson. Oh, Nelson's getting caught out of position here. There could be repercussions if Western United can move the ball quickly enough and counter-attack. Oh, just overcooking it. Western United, Saleh had to be very sharp across. Ganemba. Kinney. Ten minutes to go before half-time. It's Western United who lead LAE City Dwellers 2-0, and it could possibly be 3 here. Good save by Matheson Nasa. Wonderful save. It was all very much in favour of Paul Wale. And the diminutive goalkeeper, dressed in orange and green, does the business for his team there. Tatori. Western United now starting to play a very high line. It's almost a free-for-all in attack. Jochen Waroi, he's round the goalkeeper and he scores! 3-0 for Western United. The centre half gets on the score sheet. And LAE City Dwellers are disappearing without trace inside the first half at Centre Park. Valentine Nelson got into all sorts of problems with Benjamin Tatori, and Jochen Waroi just hung off his shoulder to capitalise on any mistake, and he does so with a plum. Well, there's a look of despondency about LAE City Dwellers. Now they've contributed much to attack in this game, but come up short. Now they've conceded 3 first-half goals. And they're frustrated as well. Anthony Taylor's having a bit of a complaint in the direction of Obert Beaker. Kepe for Albert. Beaker. Oh, that's a good ball. Flag's gone up, and Taylor has taken out Ganemba, but it's all happened after the first decision. Simon. Ganemba, that's a nice run. A little back heel for a long-range shot and just wide of the target. Very good strike by Obert Beaker. Well-worked move by Raymond Ganemba, his skipper. LAE City really have to score the next goal, you would think, to have any chance of getting back into this match. As things stand, they're well out of it. And Western United, as of this moment, top of the group. Auckland City with a game in hand. Tatori, long-range shot to test the goalkeeper, but it's off target. That's a good ball by Goropo Albert. Nice chest down, very interesting move from Raymond Ganemba. Tiampo. Kenkepe. And the flag goes up straight away. Bilson Buller and Raymond Ganemba were both offside, and frustration now being shown by the LAE City Dwellers captain. Well, they've created more chances inside 39 minutes of football here than they did in their first 2 games. Yet they have failed to score one of them. Western United, by contrast, have been ruthlessly efficient in the top third. And they're well worth their 3-goal lead, and you wouldn't put it against them, perhaps going in with maybe 4. Kepe, given away to Mollis Gagami. Farodo. Wale. Tatori. Farodo again. Tatori. One of the goal scorers, Warroy. That's a lovely ball by Farodo. Here's Wale. Oh, well, they're really turning it on. Western United. Can see here, Kenny just getting the ball stuck in his feet, and might have been lucky not to see a yellow card there because he went over the ball with his studs. Wasn't a great position for Norbert Hoata to see that incident from, but he got the offence, identification of the offence bang on. Well, you wouldn't begrudge LAE City a goal before half-time either. You have to give them credit for the way they played this first half. Talo, good take. Very good take by the goalkeeper, and he sets Nawa away. And the flag goes up. Well, Wale's intercepted. A Valentine ball intended for Gorapul Albert. Three and a half minutes of the 45 to go. Beaker has picked one off. Talo off his line quickly. His futsal instinct serving him well there. Kenny's header. Beaker runs into Nelson. Simon. Kenny had Bilson Buller behind him. He was well aware of that. Kepe. Buller. Albert. Well, 2 balls on the pitch. And Norbert Hoata playing this one to the letter of the law. Just what he's there for. There's Kepe. Simon jinking onto his right foot. He's trying to slalom through too many opponents there. And now there's a chance on the counter-attack for Western United of trying to pick off a 4th goal, which would surely wrap up the result for them. Tatori, Naka's unmarked at the far post. Oh, and the flag stayed down, but he looked to be offside to me. It's Ganemba. 3-1. Well, controversy here. Controversy in the final minutes of the first half. Ganemba He was offside by a good yard or so. And Freddie Kinney was the closest player to him. Now, Western United have every right to feel aggrieved by this. LAE City Dwellers won't. They're back in the match, at least hanging on. And that goal has dragged Western United off the top of the table into second place as we speak. Well, on the balance of things, you have to also say that LAE City Dwellers are worthy of at least a goal. They've had a number of chances that they failed to take from very, very good positions. Waroi. Ferodo. Well, LAE City, suddenly the body language has changed. Suddenly they're back in this game. Now Buller against Freddie Kinney. He just stands up, uses his superior strength to get a hold of the ball. Gorapol Albert. And Kinney has been caught out with a foul here. He's saying that he got elbowed. Sione Tiu, who is the assistant referee on that side, is having a lot to do now. Western United with plenty to think about. Buller's going into the penalty area. You can see, well, that doesn't look to be too innocuous. I think he just got caught on the Achilles there, and that's an awkward one. So a free kick for LAE City. Can they pull another one back? Ganemba, that's a good ball. Oh, and it is cleared just in the nick of time. Malibwa's shot. Well, it's pretty ambitious distance to test one's shooting prowess from, but Malibwa thought, well, why not? We've played 45 minutes of the first half. We're into time added on here. It's Western United 3, LAE City Dwellers 1. Raymond Ganemba, the man on the ball there, the goal scorer for LAE City. Bullor. Talo. Had to come off his line to deny Matthew David, who was lurking at the far post, hoping for a mistake. Mollis Gagami. Oh, that's a decent ball. Wale at the far post, and Gorapol Albert had to stretch to take the ball off Wale's foot. Matheson Nasa had come off his line. All he needed to do was to just get a really solid and direct touch, and it could have ended up in the back of the net. So it's a corner for Western United. We've got the discretion of the referee to rely upon for just how much longer we're going to go on here. Tatori will take the corner. There's 5 in the penalty area in white shirts. It's hoisted to the far post. Waroi. And it's out, and we'll restart with a goal kick. Norbert Hoata checks his watch. And there it is, half-time. What a fascinating first 45 minutes that was. Plenty of action, plenty of goals, plenty of interesting talking points to bring to you. But the most crucial element of that first half is the scoreline, which reads Western United 3, LAE City Dwellers 1. Goals for Joachim Waroi, Henry Ferodo and Joe Cisnamo separate the two teams, and Raymond Ganemba pulled one back for LAE City Dwellers just before the halftime break. And as things stand, Western United have 6 points. They've got themselves into a position where they can springboard into top spot by the end of this game and put some pressure on Auckland City FC, who are in action later today at 4 o'clock against Malumpa Revivers. For LAE City Dwellers, there's a long way back before they can start thinking about the semi-final spot. They've just got to try and claw their way back into the game by any means necessary. Remember, for them to go through, they need to score at least 3 more unanswered goals, and that could be a very tricky ask in the second half. Let's take a look at the highlights of a fascinating game. Well, it was LAE City Dwellers who did all the early running in the first half. Albert Beaker had the first good chance. He got caught late, but Anthony Talor had to make the best of it. And then Raymond Ganemba, who's really been the attacking fulcrum as we expected for LAE City, pulled Anthony Talor into that save. This was a great opportunity to score for James Naka, which he spurned, and then this foul by Kenneth Pelailo resulted in a penalty. Totori was taken out of the play, and Henry Ferrodo, with all the skill and calmness required of a skipper, slotted away the penalty. Joseph Nawo got into a great position and then just picked out Paul Wally unmarked at the far post. It was a great move that started with James Naka and Benjamin Totori, but you can see there was no yellow shirt within touching distance of Wale, and it was the simplest of goals. Valentine Nelson got into trouble. Joseph Nawo should have hit the target with this one. He's dragged it wide, and then LAE City Dwellers, well, Raymond Ganemba should have got that ball on target. And Paul Wale soon got in on the act, with Matheson Nasa having to pull off this good save. And Nelson again, it's been a tough afternoon for him. Joachim Warroy round the goalkeeper, the easiest of tap-ins. That was 3-0. And just shows you the benefit of providing support. He didn't leave Totori all on his own. He managed to get in there and apply the deft finishing touches. Ganemba, there was a big hint of offside about this one. Ganemba kept his head, went round the goalkeeper and tapped it in. But Western United can have a complaint about this, because we were sitting right in line with that ball coming through, and Ganemba was offside. The assistant referees missed that one. But on the balance of play, you'd have to say that LAE City Dwellers were well worth a goal at least. So 3-1 at halftime to Western United of the Solomon Islands over LAE City Dwellers of Papua New Guinea. More action to describe for you after the break. Thank you.
One two, 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 two 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 two. Can you hear the shotgun mic? 1 2 1 2. One two one two. Can you hear me now? 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2. I did. I just did now. 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 1 2 1. There you are. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I've done that. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, hello, hello. Should be coming through nice and clear now. Can you hear me? It's not clear. 1 2 1 2. Check, 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 check. I've got volume at max on the side. 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 2. No, I'm definitely not online. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. 1 2 2 2 2 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Check 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 check. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. There we are. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2. Am I just coming through very low? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check check 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 1 2. Check 1 2. The levels that I'm getting now is coming in at about -12, so pretty much perfect volume. Can't go really any higher on my end. I've got volume up to max, and then if I get any closer I'll be peaking, so may need to change it in the OB. Check 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 2 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 2 2 2 2 1 2 3 Is it just coming through low or is it coming through echoey? 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, that's not a good combination. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. Sure.
Yep. Welcome back to Centre Park in Mangere for the second half of Western United against LAE City Dwellers. It currently sits 3-1 in favour of the Solomon Islanders. They have a perfect platform with which to launch their last gasp grab at a semi-final spot and top spot in Group C of the OFC Champions League. LAE City Dwellers appear to be down and out for the count, although they did have the last say of the first half when Raymond Ganemba scored. And they need a further 3 unanswered goals, if they are to turn the tables on Western United and put forward their own case for a semi-final spot. In truth, they'll need to perhaps score double that to trouble Auckland City, who have a +3 goal difference superiority ahead of their game with Malumpa Revivers, which is scheduled for 4 p.m. later this afternoon. What Western United need to be aware of is not losing their way. They showed signs of that after the Ganemba goal. If they keep the foot down on the pedal and just keep going and try and add further goals, if they can come away with a 4 or 5 goal win, then Coach Commons Manapi would be happy enough that his team did everything they possibly could to try and push Auckland as far as the last game. But if they concede a second here, it could all come crumbling down on them. No changes for either side. Just one substitution in the first half. Kenneth Pelailo came off for Gorapol Albert. Expect the changes to be made in the first 20 minutes of the second half as both these teams start to reassess their position within the group and within the context of the game. And there's a problem here for Anthony Talo of some sort. Looks like it might be a groin injury. You can see Bilson Bullock gets to a point where he wires the ball in, and Talo didn't take any knock from an opponent. Two goalkeepers on the bench for Western United: Fabrizio Pratico, Italian goalkeeper, and Nicholas Taraito. Oh, Waroy's wired that straight into the head of Ganemba. He got away with that. That could have ended up anywhere. Good ball by Tatori. Wale trying to find a teammate, Naka, and it's away by Valentine Nelson, just. Western United's final ball into the top third is quite often the difference between the success of a move and, oh, that's a lovely back heel from Nawo. Success of a move and its failure. And I would dare say that across the board, even including Auckland City, that Western United perhaps have 4 of the best proponents of that type of vision and passing. And Tatori, Ferodo, Nawo, and Naka. If they fired all the time, goodness me, that would be quite some sight to behold. Mollis Gargame, one of the unsung heroes in Western United's lineup. Overlapping run from Matson Fenny, headed away by Jaffet Tiampo. Manuel Simon tries to pick out a skipper. Freddie Kinney doing the work. At the back there for Western. Waroy. Saleh. Fenny with space to move in front of him. Good run by Naka. Oh, lovely touch from Naka. Beautiful football from the veteran. Benjamin Tatori. Matson Fenny. Saleh, long ball forward. Well, they've let it bounce. That can cause an issue. Gorapol Albert has to deal with it. Wale Keeps the ball in. Now going at Gorapul Albert. He's passed one now against Nelson. He's passed him as well. And he's got a corner. Good work by Paul Wale. Lovely move here. He caught Valentine Nelson off balance, and Nelson recovered just in time with the left foot. But great work by Wale. Tatori. Joachim Waroy's arriving late around the penalty spot. He's next to a skipper. They're all attacking the near post. Waroy away by Malibwa. There's Ferodo's shot. He's always good from that position. He didn't quite catch it, though. It was just dropping too awkwardly for Ferodo. He managed to get it on target, though. LAE City Dwellers find themselves in a precarious position in this game. They can ill afford to concede the next goal. They have to score the next one in this game. And trying to strike that balance is going to be difficult, particularly the way that they're playing the final ball into the top third. More often than not, it's a long ball, and they're hoping to catch Waroy and Saleh with a big gap of space between them for Ganemba to run through. It's a difficult one. Here is Ganemba. He's picked up the ball deep. He's got Obert Beaker ahead of him. That's not what they want. Ferodo. Oh, well done, Henry Ferodo. Oh, this is exhibition stuff now from Western United. Here's Nawo and Naka. Chance over the bar. That move just required a goal to finish it off. It would have been a wonderful piece of creative football. LAE City Dwellers just hanging on by a thread. Look at this. Nawo just avoided two challenges there. The defending was too tentative from LAE City Dwellers, but the finish just lacked a bit of quality that was required to test the goalkeeper. Molos Gargami. Paul Wale in a good position against Bilson Bullo. Wale's still going. Naka, well, the first touch let Naka down, and he's conceded a free kick. And he's apologised to Paul Wale, but he's been shoved by Gorapul Albert. The referee needs to really take control of that situation before it festers. Bullo still going, powerful footballer. Now Ganemba from distance. And it lacked accuracy. Kepe. Still going Kepe. Uses the outside of the boot to locate Bilson Bullo. There's a cross. It's decent. Oh, and Talos missed it. Goal kick. Well, that was a great ball in by the big man, Bilson Bullo. Look at this. He's measured it perfectly. It's bending away from the goalkeeper. Talo came and he missed it. And Ganemba was the first one to get in front of the keeper. He just couldn't get it on target, but that's more encouraging for LAE City Dwellers. And Bilson Bullo showing that he's just not a physically strong player, but he's also a technically decent one as well. Manuel Simon picks out Bullo again. If he can measure another cross of the same quality, then LAE City Dwellers might be in business. They can't get it over. It's Waroy who cuts the supply line off. Wale. That's a decent touch, and Malibwa's header only as far as Wale again. Possibilities opening up, and the flag goes up. Naka just got a yard the wrong side of Nelson, Valentine Nelson, and it was a pretty straightforward call for Sione Chu of Tonga. Well, Oh, Saleh guilty of just misjudging the flight of the ball there. Ganemba working hard for LAE City Dwellers. Ganemba still going. Raymond Ganemba. Shot saved by Talo. And a free kick is given away by Matthew David, and frustration for Raymond Ganemba. He's been more or less a one-man show inside that Western United penalty box. Wonderful slip away from Nelson. He got away from Joachim Warroy, and the save by Nelson, by Anthony Talo was superb. Kenkepe looking for Bilson Buller. Becker tried to be a bit too clever with the step over. Wale. Naka. Well, he just hasn't found his calibration today, James Naka. Paul Wale's looking in really good nick down that left-hand side. But just the way this second half has started, you wouldn't put it past LAE City grabbing a second here. They need to do so soon. They need to try and claw their way back into this game by scoring the next goal. If they can't, and it's Western United who managed to grab it, then I fear this match will be beyond them. Nawo against Mosi Malibwa. Well done, Malibwa. That was good defending. He's had a solid competition, Mosi Malibwa. Ganemba. Lovely back heel for Emmanuel Simon, who thought about picking out Buller wide on the right. Now Ganemba. Wallace Gargamy. Oh, that's well played by Naka. Good first touch will help Joses Nawo sort out what he's going to do next here. Wale's arriving just a fraction too late to take advantage of that improvised lobbed cross. Well, it's beyond me how we haven't seen a goal yet in the second half. Gorpal. Oh, sorry, that's Matthew David who's robbed. Matson Fenny can't pick out his skipper. Naka takes the ball off Gorpal Albert. Now Wale can run into space. Checks inside. Naka again. Warroy on the overlap. Well, it was all too casual. Mosi Malibwa. Good ball into Obert Beaker. Now Buller has made a run forward. Well, Beaker just held onto the ball too long. He needed to release it sooner. Nawo's got Tatori to his right if he can pick him out. Still going Nawo. Taunting and teasing Malibwa, and the final product is a poor shot at goal that's going to go out for a throw-in. Oh, that's a lovely pass by Emmanuel Simon. You can see the game's become quite stretched now as the restrictions placed by trying to prevent goals is loosened by both teams. I expect that in the last 15 to 20 minutes we could see a flurry of goals from both teams. But it's Western United that have the advantage of this 2-goal cushion, secured through goals to Joachim Warroy, Henry Ferroto and Paul Wale in the first half. Corner taken, Ferroto's missed it. Oh, and it's ended up in the back of the net. LAE City have got a second goal. And it looks like it was an own goal, possibly by Joachim Warroy. We'll have to look on the replay. It was a very good ball in. Western didn't react. And in fact, it's Ken Kepe who scored it. And LAE City Dwellers are back in the match. So Western United, who were looking very strong with a 3-goal advantage, now have had that whittled down to just 1, and LAE City Dwellers must be able to smell blood from here. They must believe that they can score at least once more, and who knows what could happen from there. These 2 LAE City Dwellers goals will be good news for Auckland City, who now will feel a degree of comfort about the situation as regards to goal difference. Western United have scored 6 goals and now conceded 5. So they have a +1 goal advantage. LAE City Dwellers have scored 7 and conceded 7, so that tells its own story about the DNA of this football team, as we've understood it over the past 2 seasons in the OFC Champions League. Plenty of attacking, plenty of goals, but also plenty of goals conceded. Oh, lovely header. Obabika. He's threaded it through to Matthew David. The shot blocked. LAE City Dwellers with their tails up. They've won a corner. And now the pressure on Western United. Absorbing stuff at Centre Park in Mangere, as these 2 teams go hammer and tong in search of 3 points. And an unlikely top spot finish. Jaffet Tiampo, shot on goal. Blocked. It might have been better trying to wire that into the far post. Now, LAE City could get caught on the counter-attack because they've more or less got 6 at the back and 4 up front. Matthew David onside. Threads it through to Ganemba. And the offside flag goes up. It's Bertrand Brial of New Caledonia, the assistant referee on that far side, who says that Raymond Ganemba was caught off. There's no major complaint by Raymond Ganemba there. We're only halfway through the second half as well. Nawo helps it on. Malibwa. Simon. Oh, that's glorious. Well played, Emmanuel Simon. Lovely ball for Ganemba. What a beautiful piece of midfield craft from Emmanuel Simon. Well, they just really never have fully convinced Western United. There's so many features of their game that have improved and do impress, but they can never seem to just string it together in a 90-minute performance. And the 3 goals that they scored in the first half should have set them up for another run at dominating their opponents, but it hasn't worked out that way. Ganemba scoring a goal which admittedly did have more than a hint of offside about it, and now Ken Kepe's goal at the far post has reduced the arrears to just 1. So you wouldn't put it past LAE City finding a 3rd goal and tying this game up. Whether or not they can go on and win it, well, that's a completely unknown factor at the moment. But the way this is panning out, Western might have more to say. Here's Tatori. He's outrun them all. Tatori! And he scores! Benjamin Tatori, at long last, has scored a goal in the OFC Champions League this season. He's not had his problems to seek in terms of getting on the score sheet, but here he just blazed a trail past Malibwa, past Valentine Nelson, and eventually gets the best of Matheson Nasa. And it's 4-2 to Western, and the 2-goal cushion is restored. And it's the old stager Tatori who leads the way. 4-2. And this thrilling match continues to please the eyes of neutrals and partisan fans alike, I'm sure. Well, if Valentine Nelson can get some height on this, it could cause a problem. Well, he managed to get the height, but there was no one in a yellow shirt providing coverage. And Naka's away from Malibwa. Tiampo, the left back, providing cover, and he needed to. Gorapol Albert keeps it in. Waroi. Saleh, gently cushioned on the chest there by Saleh. Nawo picks up Fenny's long ball. Ferodo joins in. Oh, lovely skill from Ferodo. Still going, the Western skipper. Well, this is where Pacific football's at its best, when it's free-flowing attacking football. Fenny. Substitution coming up for Western United. It's James Naka being withdrawn. And Atana Ferodo, an attacking player. So it's like for like. And that could be the last we see of James Naka in the OFC Champions League for this season. Gets a thumbs up from his coach, Commons Manapi. And they'll be hoping that Atana Ferodo can help Western United hunt out more goals, because they certainly need them. They need one more to get their goal difference to +3 again, which would get them level with Auckland City. And then I think based on goals for, they would be ahead of the holders, who have a game in hand, of course, against Malumpa Revivers. That coming to you at 4 p.m. local time in just over an hour and a half. Well, look at the way these two teams are battling for possession. Desperate for the ball. Mollis Gagami. Joshin Waroi back to the keeper. Malibwa. Waroi. Hoisted forward, and Tana Ferodo gets the first crucial touch. Valentine Nelson provides cover, and they haven't quite sorted their problem out yet, LAE City dwellers. Tatori, Ferodo doesn't quite have the legs for that. Now Ganemba can pick up on the mistake. He's asked a bit too much for Obit Beaker. Waroi, Freddie Kinney, Benjamin Tatori. That Western United attacking line had to readjust itself from an offside position. There were three of them coming back. Atana Ferodo and Nawo, he's through. Oh, he's let it run underneath Matheson Nasa, who missed the ball completely, but he got the assistance of Valentine Nelson. Little toe poke forward from Atana Ferodo and a lovely touch by Nawo. Matheson Nasa was caught out completely. Nawo against Simon. Wale. Atana Ferodo's got his hand in the air looking for a cross. I think it might be a bit too soon for that. LAE City Dwellers line hasn't advanced too much further. There's still plenty of space for Western United to operate here on this left-hand side. Miscommunication between Wale and Atana Ferodo. Well, they're looking pretty tired, LAE City Dwellers, and you can't blame them, really. They've had to work very hard to try and get a way back into this game. They've scored one and conceded one in the second half. And you just wonder if, in the last 15 minutes, that ability to press consistently has now left them as fatigue starts to take control. Fenny. To that end, Western United might be just as well to hold on to the ball, hold on to possession, and try and work LAE City Dwellers around the pitch a bit more. Ganemba releases Beaker down this left-hand side. Straight to Mollis Gagami. Tatori. Atana Ferodo picked off by Valentine Nelson. Ken Kepe, one of the LAE City goal scorers. Oh, that's a good ball by Kepe. Fenny with some acrobatic defending. Now Mollis Gagami too. Paul Wale hoists it forward. Nawo against Jaffet Tiampo. The goalkeeper's come out. Western United need one more goal. There's around 20 minutes of the regulation 90 to play. Nawo. Too casual and well read by Emmanuel Simon. And more of a rugby tackle by Ferodo. I think he lost his footing against Ganemba more than it was a cynical challenge. He's got a yellow card for it. Kepe. Well played by Kepe. Ganemba. Oh, and that's lovely from Raymond Ganemba. He's burned off Matson Fenny, but no quality in the cross. It was far too close to Anthony Talo. That's bread and butter for the Western United goalkeeper. Malibwa improvises a clearance with the thigh. Mollis Gagami sweeping it wide to Freddie Kinney. Now Wale against Gorapol Albert. Hauled back just in time by Gorapol Albert. Tatori. Atana Ferodo. Long range shot. It really was unrealistic to shoot from there. Substitution for LAE City Dwellers. George Debenham is prepped and ready. And it might be Albert Beaker who's coming off. We'll have to wait and see. It's Bilson Bullor. LAE City Dwellers desperate to chase this game, and I think their semi-final hopes, which were already bleak prior to kick-off, all but gone, and it's all about pride now. Oh, and Matheson Nasa, and he had to make sure he won the ball. He's only a very short footballer, Matheson Nasa. So he has to show reserves of bravery and courage every time he's in those situations, and he did so there. Well, this could be enough. 4-2 for Western. If Malumpa Revivers beat Auckland City 1-0 or by any margin bigger than that, then Western United would finish top of the group. But I think just to give themselves some added security, it would be useful for them to score again and increase that lead, just to go into that match with a goal difference of +3. They've conceded a free kick here, wide on the right-hand side of Anthony Talo's penalty area. Ganemba against Saleh, and Matson Fenny's gone over the top of the ball. No wonder Ganemba's in some degree of discomfort. It's the second time Fenny's gone over the ball. He's very fortunate not to find himself with a yellow card. Free kick to the far post and a free header by Jeffet Tiampo. Had to get it on target. If he did, it was a goal. Lovely ball in by Emmanuel Simon. Again, Talo looked as though he was coming for it, but Tiampo had more or less a free header at goal. Paul Wale didn't pick him up, neither did Jochen Waroi, and it had to be much, much better than that. Just under a quarter of an hour to be played. It's Western United 4, LAE City Dwellers 2. Well, how frustrating will it be for Western United if they can manage to get 2 wins from their 3 games, yet find themselves eliminated from the competition. Here's Tatori trying to add to his personal goal tally. Moloskagami. Tana Ferodo, well, not too sure if that was intended as a pass for Paul Wale, or he was just trying to knock the ball by a defender and beat him with a bit of pace and collect it on the other side in the end. He achieved neither. Ferodo for Nawo. Atana Ferodo is to the left of Nawo, but there's yellow and blue shirts buzzing all around Nawo. Ken Kepe has had a good game for LAE City Dwellers. Ganemba, Matthew David, Kepe, Waroi joining in, Matthew David joining in. Still Kepe, now Manuel Simon. This is promising from LAE City Dwellers. Debenham to the right of Gorapol Albert. Can Albert get in a decent cross? That's the question. Well, the answer to that's no. It's shinned away by Jochen Waroi. Manuel Simon keeps the pressure on, still going. Handball by Kepe. substitution being prepared by Commons Manapi. Mollis Kagami is coming off for Moffat Khalifa, so that's a defensive midfielder about to be replaced by an attacking player. So Commons Manapi's going for it. Another couple of goals before the end of this would set them up quite nicely. Nawo. Atana Ferrodo. Henry Ferrodo. Matson Fenny. Atana Ferrodo's made a run into the right channel. It's picked off by Matthew David. Now Ganemba. Possibilities for LAE City opening up. George Debenham is free on the right-hand side if Manuel Simon can pick him out, which he has. Debenham. Oh, good cover by Moffat Khalifa. Wale rides the challenge by Gorapol Albert. There's a few tired legs out there in blue and yellow. This is where teams are most vulnerable, when their legs start to go. And these two teams now just trading blows. It's end-to-end stuff. You would expect there to be some more goals, given the way that the last phase of this game looks as though it's going to be played at the tempo it's going to be played at. Kepe. Don't forget, there's more OFC Champions League Group C action coming your way at 4 p.m. when Auckland City FC take on Vanuatu's Malumpa Revivers. The first time those two clubs will have met in Oceania's Premier Club competition. Oh, flag stays down. Paul Wale against Matheson Nasa. Good goalkeeping. I tell you what, I thought he had got that wrong. Well, he might have got it wrong. It's a red card for Albert Beaker. LAE City Dwellers are down to 10. Paul Wale is laid out on the pitch. Albert Beaker can't believe it. He's not moving, but you can see here in the replay, Wale's way clear. Matheson Nasa, well, it looks as though Nasa's taken him out, but I don't know why Albert Beaker's being shown the red card. Maybe it's something he said, but the LAE City Dwellers down to 10. And Ferrodo is striding forward. He's going to take the penalty. I must say, when I first looked at it, I thought Matheson Nasa got something on the ball. But in fact, in the replay, it showed that he didn't. He actually collected. He collected the on-running Paul Wale. So here you have it. Difficult one to really see what happened there. It looked like the ball took Wale on the way out. No penalty given, but Albert Beaker's been given a red card, so I can only assume that that was for something he said. Taken short. Wale. Tatori. Joseph Nawo. Matson Fenny joins in. He's being pressed aggressively by Matthew David. Still going Fenny. Oh, and he very nearly found a way through. Atana Ferrodo. Henry Ferrodo. Oh, lovely skill, and that's a free kick. Matthew David was beating all ends up and apologises, but masterclass from a master craftsman of the midfield arts in Ferodo. Atana Ferodo plays it to Henry, now Saleh. Can't be too much longer to go. So 5 minutes left to play of the 90, and it's Western United who lead by 4 goals to 2 over LAE City Dwellers. Kepe. Ferodo dispossesses George Debenham. Atana Ferodo. He's got Moffat Khalifa to his left. Moffat Khalifa. To Tori. Now Wale. Oh, that's well played by Emmanuel Simon. Read it like a book. Moffat Khalifa, Atana Ferodo. Chance for Ferodo. He's through. And it's a penalty. Mosi Malibwa has taken Atana Ferodo out. It was a goal scoring opportunity. There's the yellow card for Malibwa, and Tatori wants it. There can be no doubt about this. Atana Ferodo's first touch was good enough to get him in front of Malibwa, and Malibwa, fearing the worst, has elected to take Atana Ferodo out of the play. So Tatori wants to take the penalty, but I think his skipper, Henry Ferodo, might pull rank. No, they've settled this one. Western United desperately need this goal, by the way. There can be no doubt that a +3 goal difference heading into the final game between Auckland City FC and Malampa Revivers. There can't be any room for sentiment, although this penalty kick appears to have changed hands for a third time. It's Atana Ferodo who will take it against Matheson Nasa. Oh, and he went the right way, but it was hit just so perfectly by Atana Ferodo. It's now 5-2. This was placement over power. Look at this. Right in the corner of the goal where goalkeepers most loath to see a penalty struck. So Western United, at least for an hour and 5 minutes or so, will be top of Group D by virtue of goals for and their goal difference being identical to Auckland City. But of course, the reigning champions have one more game to play against the bottom team of the group, which they start as red-hot favourites to win. But Commons Manapi can be proud of his team, because it's not often in the history of this competition that a football club will have won 2 games in the group stage and then found themselves eliminated. It's all down to the structure and format of this year's competition, that teams who finish with 2 wins and a loss run this risk of finishing outside the top spot. Here's Ganemba's free kick. Easy one for Talo to pick up. Atana Ferodo, the goal scorer of Western United's 5th. Henry Ferodo brings Matson Fenny into play. Oh, that's a good ball out by Matheson Nasa. You can see what he was trying to achieve. Nice low flat trajectory for Raymond Ganemba to run onto. It's probably the preferred trajectory of pass received in the Ganemba playbook. Oh, that's a nice touch. Ganemba, will he have one final say? Perhaps not. So just 3 minutes of additional time to be added on at the end of a really exciting goal-laden match. That's been a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. Kepe gives it straight to Henry Ferrodo. Nawo. Malibwa. Albert. Great run by Matthew David. Nelson Saleh's pulling up lame. He's got an injury of some sort. Matthew David might look to try and get close enough to take advantage. Cross too close to the goalkeeper again. Now Saleh's picked up the ball, but I don't think he's in very good health at the moment. Tatori. Oh, he's given it straight to George Debenham. Manuel Simon, little exchange of passes. Debenham! Oh, and he scores! George Debenham has grabbed LAE City Dwellers third. It's his first goal in the OFC Champions League. Western United guilty of just switching off at the back, not for the first time this afternoon, and George Debenham with a deadly finish. And LAE City Dwellers have the consolation of a third goal this afternoon. And it's a goal that causes mild damage to Western United's goal difference that sat at +3 for only a few moments. I think that's all pure mathematics and academia now because of the way that Auckland City's goal difference is poised and the calibre of opposition that they face in the final game of Group C. LAE City Dwellers 3, Western United 5. Khalifa, Nawo. Oh, Fenny, he's onside. Tatori's unmarked. If he can pick out Tatori, this should be number 6. It's Atana Ferrodo. Played it safe when he should really have just put his foot through it and given Matheson Nasa no chance. Nasa. There it is, the final whistle, and it's victory for Western United in their final group game. They've done enough to at least take the campaign through to the 6th match, the final match of Group C when Auckland play Malumpa Revivers. They've scored 5 goals to LAE City Dwellers 3. Tatori, Wairoi, Ferrodo, Wale and Atana Ferrodo scoring goals, cancelling out those by Raymond Ganemba, Kenneth Kepe and George Debenham. It's been an exciting, free-flowing, goal-leading game to call, and I think both clubs will take the performance within the context of the competition for a grain of salt and prefer to concentrate on the positives, of which there were plenty in this game and plenty scattered throughout the first 2 matches of the Champions League for this season. Western United do face an anxious wait of sorts to see whether or not Malumpa Revivers can come up with what would be one of the biggest shocks in Oceania club football history. If they can get that victory, that would open the door for them. But I think that Coach Commons Manapi and his team will be realistic about the odds of that taking place here today. We've had some wonderful goals to describe, and now we've got some highlights for you to talk through. And there were plenty of them. Western United led 3-1 at the half-time break, and they were thinking about scoring first in the second half to try and increase their goal difference and put pressure on Auckland City, but they were guilty of missing a number of chances. This was a really good chance to Anaka. He really didn't find his X-factor in this competition. And Ganemba it was who had the best scoring chance in the opening few moments and showed plenty of skill and pace. He forced this save out of Anthony Talo to no avail, and then guilty of switching off at the near post, led to problems at the far post. Ken Kepe took advantage of Joachim Wari, who got caught ball watching, and that made it 3-2. And then Benjamin Tatori showed a flash of his old brilliance, outpacing Mosi Malibwa and Valentine Nelson to slot past Matheson Nasa to make it 4-2. That is the Benjamin Tatori of old that we all know, love and remember. And you can see what it means to him. Once again, set plays were an issue. Jaffet Tiampo should have got this on target, and then Atana Ferodo scored from the penalty spot, but the goal scoring wasn't finished there. George Debenham coming on as a substitute managed to take advantage of a very sleepy Western United defence. That made it 5-3. And LAE City Dwellers could have easily ended up conceding 6. Matsafeni made a great run, and Tana Ferodo really should have scored from that position. So all we're waiting on now is some post-match comments from the respective coaches, Commons Manapi and Peter Kanemba Senior. Here's OFC TV with LAE City Dwellers coach Peter Kanemba Senior. No. Okay, well that means that with no Commons Manapi available for a post-match interview, that our coverage of the first game of OFC Champions League Group C for match day 3 between Western United and LAE City Dwellers has come to a close. Rejoin us in about an hour's time for the final game of the group, Auckland City FC of New Zealand against Vanuatu's Malumpa Revivers FC.